How's it going, Internet Land? This is Zacmus Prime, aka Zacmus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Zeta Toys Silver Arrow, which, as you can tell, has nothing to do with Silverbolt. It's Silver Arrow. Clearly, guys, come on. There he is from the front, there he is from the back. Mission Cyber, no step. Tell you what, though, that's definitely not a scale size drawing because that'd be freaking huge. Like, if this was an actual Concorde, that would be freaking huge. But, of course, scale is not really a thing that exists in the Transformers continuity. But, yeah, there he is. He's the latest one by Zeta Toys. It used to be Toy World. I think they first announced these when they were still Toy World. But yeah, it's pretty decent. White plastic, yellow plastic. There's the paint app here. All white plastic looks like. Yeah, I think so. Red paint app, yellow paint app. Some clear parts here. He does have a clear back of the head. This piece is meant for light piping, but thankfully they decided not to do light piping. They just painted his eyes in. It's nice and metallic blue. It looks really good, especially if you shine some light on it. Really looks good. I like painted eyes. Painted eyes are better than light piped eyes. Thank heaven. Some more clear parts here. It looks like yellow paint underneath. Some die cast on his toe. I want to say this piece around his knee is die cast as well. And then he's just got, that's not die cast there, I'm pretty certain. Fairly nice backpack, I think. Like, it's not like huge and ridiculous. He does turn into a Concorde, and I know that's accurate to the G1 toy, and I think that's perfectly fine, I guess. It just, even when I was younger, it always struck me as being kind of weird that 4 of the Combiner team are military planes, fighter jets and whatnot, and one of them is a passenger jet. It's like, I don't know. I kind of liked the decision that TFC made to make Silverbolt a Blackbird. Not only did that work better for scale, I say with quotations because scale is not really a thing that exists in the Transformers continuity, but it also would have worked well as with them all being military planes. Though, strictly speaking, the Blackbird is not a military plane, so I don't know. Interpretations and whatnot. But yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's fairly Transformers 80s blocky. Which I think is really nice. He doesn't have, the wings hanging off of the. He doesn't feel as kibbly as the Limbots do. Of course, because he's a completely different setup and transforms in a completely different way. So that's something. But anyhow, in terms of accessories, he comes with this gun here that looks like it could fly away on its own. It's got a little slot in here. That slot fits into a tab on his hand. Like the other Aerobots, it doesn't fit into it super well. Like, I do kind of wish that they had given him the peg system that the Constructicons had, but I don't know. There's his gun. He can hold it. That's something. It's super exciting. Super exciting that I can hold it. Also, the handle folds up, and this part folds in for something else, I guess. I don't know. And this part detaches for a reason that I don't even know. Honestly, my favorite part about this gun is if you look right down the middle and you look at it in just the right lighting, and there's no way I'm going to get that for the camera, you can actually see machine marks from when they machined the mold. Yeah, I can see the circular marks from from an end mill, and then on there's a little part where you can see where they stepped up doing the finish pass on an incline. So little nerdy things like that. I'm a machinist, so I dig that sort of stuff. Anyhow, but let's get him doing the posability thing. His head is on a ball joint, so it goes around and around and around, rotates freely, looks down, looks up, kind of goes side to side as well. It's nice, ball joint. His arm is like, his arm is on a ratchet. It goes around like that. If you move, you got to move it out to get it to go around the swing a little bit. It will bend out on a hinge joint here. So that's good. It doesn't have any kind of hindrance on its posability there. And this elbow bends 90 degrees. He does also have a bend here to bend it even more. This works like a double elbow, even though this one is not anywhere close to the elbow. It's an upper arm bend. I'm going to count it as a double hinged elbow. I've noticed a few companies starting to go to this sort of a design, which is nice because on a traditional double hinged elbow design, you've got to have like a complicated hinge system here if you want to have any kind of like this forearm jutting out from the line of the upper arm, or you have to have those flush with each other and then have all of your mass sticking out on the back, which looks dumb. So I actually think that's okay. He does have a waist swivel. His waist can swivel about. Only that much though, because then it just clings into the backpack there. As you can see, clang, clang, clang. If you bump it too hard, it'll come out. And you don't want that to happen because then it'll just flop about and be a mess. I believe this comes with side skirts, but this particular copy does not. Don't worry, the authorities have already been contacted, and hopefully something's going to get squared away soon. But his front skirt armors is still in the process. By the way, he's got a big square button on his dick plate. I don't know what it does. Maybe that's his on button to turn. I'm pretty certain that's for a stand. I've noticed that the other guys have also had one like that for the stand. So if you've got a stand that's got like a 5mm peg, that'll probably fit in just nicely. In fact, curious about the 5mm thing. I have a 5mm peg right here. Yeah, that goes on. That goes in. I mean, the spring in there pushes it right back out. But yeah, apparently there's some sort of a stand that's got a 5mm peg, and that's supposed to work with it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, haven't heard of it. If you guys know, then you know better than me. This is a thing that happens. So this has got a little flap here with a little tiny tab on it. That little tiny tab fits in this little divot here. It's not a secure fit. If you bump this too much, it'll come out as you're handling it. So be warned. It's not the end of the world, but be warned. His leg goes all the way forward, most of the way back. If you move this up, it'll go even a little further back. Goes out. There's 100%. There's 120% of a Van Damme. His knees are kind of interesting. So he's got a joint here, right here, and that bends a little over 90 degrees. He's also got a joint here, and that bends, just by itself, it bends a little less than 90 degrees. You can bring those together to bend him a little more than 90 degrees. But it's really hard to, like, I mean, it's technically a double jointed knee, but it doesn't really give you much more than 90 degrees. I know what it's for, but I just wanted to point out to you that it's there, but it doesn't do much for the robot mode. His toe is on a ball joint. Actually, no, it's on a multi-joint, like a universal hinge. So it'll rotate, Keep in mind, if you bend this forward, then the foot sits flush against the foot cowling and it will not rotate anymore. So that's a thing. But while it's sitting out, you can tilt his toes. It is just his toes. Unfortunately, because of the way his foot is designed, he doesn't really have, like, here's those tabs going crazy again. He doesn't technically have heels, and so you can fit him on his toes and you can make them fairly flat and flush. But if anything rocks him, he's gonna go way back before he finds something to catch on. So keep that in mind. But yeah, there he is. I did explain to you the issues with the backpack. They're not big issues, but they are there regardless. His tail you can fit to either side. I don't even know what Mission Cyber is. Anyhow. Alrighty, let's get him transformed up. So first thing you want to do, I always just put his head in first. Flip that all the way around, pop that back in like so. You can take his arms, fold up his hands, fold his thumb in like that, put his hands into a box pose, and then turn them like that. Wow, that's just sounds lovely, doesn't it? Pull on this tab. Here's the easiest way to get that open. Pull it open. You're going to want to keep his arm all the way straight. Swing this around. Fold this up and then close it again. There's a tab on the back of his shoulder that's going to fit into a slot on this panel here. Do the same for the other side. Rotate his hand, fold up his thumb, his fingers. You're going to open this up. Make sure his arm is all the way straight. Swing this around, fold in the hand, close that up. There's a tab and a slot. Now you're going to take and you're going to just grab these red sections here and you're going to pull them out. They'll go out, and then these also will go out. Like so. There's this thing. It clamps it in actually pretty tightly. Let me show you this again. I've got actually another arm. I don't know why I'm doing this. Pull on that. It'll come out and down. You're going to end up in a position like this. So pull on that. Position like so. And these will fold down here. These will kind of tab in, but I wouldn't worry about that right now because nothing's gonna keep them in place yet. There's these panels here. These are gonna fold up. Oh, I didn't want to do that part. Ha 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 ha. All right, now for the legs. Get that kind of out of the way. So for the leg, it helps to kind of put them out a click or two. You're going to open this panel right here. It's going to feel difficult to open up, but that's just because it's hanging up on stuff. But they do open up, and then there's like all this like panel assortment inside here. So you're going to pull this out. What you want to do first is clear out the space so that you can get this folded in. There's going to be a double hinge. See the armature right in here. Pull this out. Get that into its proper position. This is going to come out. 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 And then you can close this back up, tab, tab, slot, slot. Actually, there's no slot here anymore. That moved. Still a tab there. That'll tab back into place. Straighten up his leg. Now, you want to get this seated down. You want to get this arm. Stretched it too far. So this arm has got a tab right here, and then there's a slot on the leg right here, and that tab goes into that slot. That's going to allow you to put, there's a tab in the slot right here, there's a peg right here and a hole in there, and then there's also a peg on the back of this red section and a hole subsequent onto that wing part. So I'm going to get that into place. Going to get that into place. And then this kind of just folds down. See, it's on this double hinge here. It's going to fold down. And that's kind of the wing. We're going to take this foot, we're going to push it up in here so it fills in that space and sits flush up in there. And that's basically one wing. So we're going to do all the same stuff for the other side, including fix this arm because I moved it too far down. All right, so open this up. Move this out of the way. Fold this up. Fold this down. Tab. Tab. These legs have got two pegs, two holes, they'll tab together like so. This is going to come up, tab, tab. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this section here. So we're going to take this, we're going to bring this out, we're going to bring these out. We're going to then take these, they'll kind of fit into here. The tail goes in the middle. Oh wait, let's bring this all the way out. You see there's all these little die-cast armatures in here. So we're going to bring this out. You'll see there's a nice little gap for this armature to fit into. There is a tab and a slot, a peg and a hole, and a peg and a hole. These are going to combine together. I don't ever seem to get them to fit really, really flush. There always seems to be stuff that doesn't want to fit really well. I'm not sure why. Like, everything is in the right place. Seems to be fulcrumed around here somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to figure out better later. So get those kind of into place. When you peg this all in together, it's going to take care of a lot of that. So this is going to fold out on this hinge. This is going to fold out part way, and then you're going to slide this up like that, and it'll extend out all the way. And let me show you that from the other side. So you fold this out, you'll see that there's a hollow and then a little peg and then a hollow. This needs to fit right into that spot there. And this will all fit into there. Peg that, collapse these little panels down. You'll see that there's a series of pegs along this fuselage area. Those are going to fit into these slots. Like so, like so. like so. Like so. There's another little peg there. There's kind of a peg that kind of keeps this wing in place. So here is the biggest drawback with the alt mode is that the wings, because everything folds up, disconnects, and moves around and gets all mixed up so that it can fold away into his legs and his backpack and just everything else. Parts of it is on his arm. This wing is not a very flush surface. You get gappy parts. And unfortunately, that's just something that there's not a whole lot that you can do about it. But there he is in his Concorde mode. The Concorde, by the way, was kind of an interesting airplane. It's a supersonic passenger jet. And it operated for a while until like one of them crashed. And nobody wanted to fly the Concorde anymore. Also that, and it was super loud. It could fly over residential areas and just everybody would complain. There's a landing gears in the back. And one in the front. Jeez, that just doesn't want to cooperate with me, does it? Maybe I can push from the other side. Yeah. Fold that in. This keeps all the backpack hanging in place properly, so that folds away in the jet mode. He does have one action feature in this mode, which is the actual Concorde had the nose fold down while it was in landing, because the nose was long enough that the pilots couldn't see over it. So that's a thing that it can do. The Concorde nose did not fold like that at all. It folded, it was all mostly from this section forward, the cockpit itself. You can see here the windshields move on this section. The cockpit itself didn't move at all in the actual Concorde, so. But yeah, there he is in his jet mode. He sits, and he's completely unaerodynamic. Jeez, this doesn't want to tab together really well. Another problem that I've got with this. Yeah, I've got a couple of minor issues with him in vehicle mode, but I mean, I wouldn't keep him in vehicle mode. I'd keep him in robot mode, basically. I mean, his vehicle mode doesn't look bad, but his robot mode definitely looks really good. I keep on thinking, though, he would look so gorgeous as an SR-71. But in this mode, he's got a couple holes for missiles. He doesn't come with missiles. He's got a hole in the front as well. Maybe you can attach his gun there. I mean, if that's what you really want to do. I think you're kind of dumb if that's the way you do it. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being kind of dumb. Just ask me. And yeah, there he is. Silver Arrow in his other mode. I think he's a pretty good figure. I mean, his alt mode definitely does leave a little bit to desire, but when you're trying to turn a big chunky robot into something as sleek, I mean, something with a small enough cross section as a Concorde, like all of this right here is stuff that doesn't belong on a Concorde, you know? And so, yeah, of course you've got to make design considerations for that. You know, there's no way you can turn an accurate-looking Silverbolt into an accurate-looking Concorde. You know, it's just, it's absolutely impossible. And before anybody shouts out Fans Toys, I guarantee you Fans Toys is not doing it either. But I mean, what he does, I think he does well. I think this is all as good as can be expected. I just noticed that his fuselage flares out down here. And that's, it's kind of an interesting thing. It's not something that happens on the actual Concorde either. It's straight all the way from here all the way back to the end. Just this long little tube. Not a whole lot of... The seating inside the Concorde, each row only has 4 seats, 2 on each side, all the way along the whole thing. Like, it doesn't even seat a whole bunch of people. That's why it costs like an arm and a leg per flight. At least back in the 70s it did. But anyhow, that's it for me today. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Go ahead and leave me a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so that you are notified when I've got stuff coming down in the future. And you guys are all awesome. I will see you on the flip side. Have a wonderful day. See ya. Bye.